Grant State Police are just moments away from giving us an update onto exactly what happened on I-84. Let's listen in from their headquarters.
State Police Public Information Office. As we mourn the loss of a fallen brother, we'll take this opportunity to provide what is known about the investigation so far. Today, May 30th, 2024, approximately 2:36 p.m., Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier was on duty working overtime on a high visibility motor vehicle enforcement grant as part of the Fatal Reduction Initiative. It was at this time that TFC Pelletier was traveling in the left lane and had observed an operator traveling in the right lane not wearing a seatbelt. TFC Pelletier moved over to the right lane behind this vehicle and activated his emergency lights and siren to initiate a traffic stop. The operator complied with TFC Pelletier's signal to stop and moved their vehicle into the right shoulder of I-84 eastbound just prior to exit 31. TFC Pelletier generated a traffic stop event on his in-car computer and approached the vehicle. TFC Pelletier spoke briefly with the operator and during the course of the interaction had advised the operator why they were stopped. At this time, a red pickup truck traveling in the right lane began to encroach upon the right shoulder, approaching TFC Pelletier's location. Preliminary information shows that the right side wheels of the pickup were completely over the dividing line into the shoulder, sideswiped TFC Pelletier's cruiser, and then struck TFC Pelletier in the shoulder while he was speaking with the operator of the vehicle that he had stopped. The operator of the pickup truck failed to stop at this time and continued traveling eastbound on I-84. Several witnesses to the collision called 911 after the fact and provided troopers with valuable information. The operator of the pickup truck eventually came to a stop in the area of exit 39A, which was a result of the vehicle becoming disabled. The evading operator is currently in state police custody. Troopers, along with other emergency responders, were on scene shortly after the collision, where it was learned that TFC Pelletier had succumbed to his injuries. This is still an active and ongoing investigation at this point in time. However, we do ask if there are any other witnesses or anyone with dash cam footage of the incident, please come forward and assist with this investigation. Any additional witnesses are asked to contact Troop H in Hartford at 860-534-1000. Pertaining to the individual in custody, their identity along with charges will be posted to cspnews.org at a later time. We would like to thank everyone who selflessly assisted the state police with this investigation. We are grateful for the outpouring of support from our fellow partners in law enforcement, fellow first responders, and the public. Based on the fact that this is an active and ongoing investigation, no additional details regarding the investigation will be released at this time. At this point, I would like to introduce Colonel Daniel Lockman, commanding officer of the Connecticut State Police, to speak on Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier.
Thank you, Sergeant Davis. Good evening. I'm Colonel Daniel Lockman, commanding officer of the Connecticut State Police. It is with a heavy heart that I stand here before you this evening. Today, a dedicated Connecticut State trooper was taken from us, Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier, who died after being struck on Interstate I-84 in Southington. Trooper First Class Pelletier entered the Connecticut State Police Training Academy on June 12, 2015, and he was a member of the 125th Training Troop. Upon his graduation in December of 2015, he was assigned to Troop H in Hartford. In addition to patrol, he held a variety of specialized assignments throughout his career, including as a canine handler attached to the Emergency Services Unit. Trooper First Class Pelletier and his partner, Canine Rosso, graduated from the Connecticut State Police Canine Academy as part of the 223rd Patrol Canine class in December of 2021. Trooper First Class Pelletier and Canine Rosso were assigned to Troop H Patrol at the time of Trooper First Class Pelletier's death. Yesterday, we marked the 121st anniversary of the establishment of the Connecticut State Police. With great sorrow, I tell you that Trooper First Class Pelletier becomes the 26th Connecticut trooper to die in the line of duty. In this job, we talk about the many sacrifices that troopers make, the family milestones we miss, the hours we work, and the hazards of the job. I can tell you that, yes, there's much that we give up in this career, but we never want a trooper to make the ultimate sacrifice. He gave 9 years to this job. He was a dedicated and compassionate professional. He was a role model to younger troopers, and he set a high standard for them to follow. But he was much more than that. Aaron was a loving husband and a father of 2 young children. Aaron was a son, he was a brother, and he was a friend to every man and woman that wore this uniform. I'm honored to have known and worked with Aaron. I'm heartbroken for his wife and young children and the rest of his family. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as we move forward in the days and weeks to come. Trooper First Class Pelletier served the state of Connecticut with honor and integrity, and he will not be forgotten. Thank you. I'd like to introduce the Commissioner of the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Commissioner Ron L. Higgins.
Thank you, Colonel. Tonight we are suffering. In our small state, it feels as if we have all lost a precious member of the family, Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier. And on this wrenching evening, through the pain, through the tears, I am thinking of sacrifice, integrity, and responsibility. As we all hurt, I ask you to renew the bond between our citizens and our over 900 troopers. Trooper Pelletier was a part of the tapestry that weaves this diverse state together. As you have already heard, we lost Trooper Pelletier when he was doing one of the most vital jobs of a trooper, keeping our roads safe for you, for me, and for our loved ones. To honor this trooper, this father, this husband, this brother, this son, I ask our citizens and I ask you all here tonight to do some things to support us. Take greater care when you drive. Respect your fellow citizens. Uphold the law. And lastly, believe in justice the way Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier did. Remember, our Connecticut State Troopers are here to do more than enforce the law. They provide help, they support our communities, and they build positive relationships. For this, Trooper First Class Pelletier made the ultimate sacrifice, joining the list of other Connecticut State Troopers who have died in the line of duty. In closing, I ask that you please keep Trooper First Class Pelletier's family, all those who knew him, all those who loved him, and all those wearing the uniform tonight. Please keep them in your prayers. Thank you. I'd like to invite our Lieutenant Governor Susan Bicewicz, to the podium.
Thank you, Commissioner. This evening, our state mourns the loss of a precious, courageous, and dedicated member of our state's law enforcement team. We are heartbroken by the loss of Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier. Members of our state police are known for their steadfast support of each other and their dedication to maintaining an incredibly high level of standards of policing. But above all, their commitment is to protecting and serving the people of our state. And Trooper First Class Pelletier exemplified the very best of those values during his 9 years with the state police. He was so dedicated to service that he decided to take a second step, which was to go through canine training. And he and his canine partner, Rosso, graduated, as you heard, from the State Police Canine Academy in December of 2021. It's not easy to take on this responsibility as a canine handler, but Trooper First Class Pelletier did it with incredible commitment, and it's just another example of the selflessness and dedication that he had to his job. State troopers are out every day on our roadways trying to protect the public. And what is so tragic about this day and losing him is that his life was lost while he was conducting a routine traffic stop to try to stop speeding, to try to make our roads safer, to try to keep the public safe by making sure that everyone who's driving is wearing a seatbelt. He was trying to reduce highway crashes and fatalities when he died. Much of my day is spent on the highways of Connecticut. And I have personally seen the increasing recklessness and dangerous driving that happens across our state. I've also had the opportunity to witness the dedication of Trooper First Class Pelletier, because 2 weeks ago, he actually stopped me and my state trooper, Abby Belcher, because he couldn't see in our smoked windows and he wanted to make sure that we were both wearing seatbelts. He was someone dedicated to doing his job. And this death is nothing short of tragic because it shouldn't have happened. And so the governor and I ask today that anyone who drives on our road, please drive at the speed limit. Please be vigilant, especially when you see road work happening, especially when you see our law enforcement officers doing their job out on the road. Please don't drive fast. Please don't drive under the influence. It will keep all of us safe. This tragedy reminds us of the dangers that our troopers face every day. And I know the governor has reached out to Trooper First Class Pelletier's wife, Dominique, and we want his wife, Dominique, and their two young sons, Troy and Zachary, to know that our state will hold you in our hearts and our prayers. We will never forget your sacrifice, and please, to all of our residents, drive safely.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. At this point in time, we'll open the floor for some questions.
It's my understanding that Trooper Pelletier's beloved companion, Rosa, was in the car.
That is correct. So Rosso was not injured, and he was transported to the K-9 unit by another trooper who came to the scene.
I think also what many find really egregious in this is that the person did not stop. You're not calling this a crash. You're calling this a hit and run.
It was an evading accident. Yes, that's correct.
They're getting arraignment tomorrow?
Information yet to be determined, still an active and ongoing investigation, but that information we will post as soon as we possibly can.
I would imagine there's video, dash cam, and are there witnesses and people who are helping?
There are several witnesses that did in fact come forward and have been assisting with the investigation.
Some of us were fortunate to have met the trooper over the years. I wonder if anyone could speak to, their interactions with him and why he wanted to serve the state of Connecticut.
Colonel?
As I said before, Trooper First Class Pelletier, he was committed to this job. I was speaking to some of his peers earlier, and just talking to them. This was something he's wanted to do for a long time. He before he came on this job, he used to he would work out with the troopers, find out how he could get on the job. Prior to being a trooper, he was actually He worked for the Department of Corrections in Hartford. So this is something that he's always wanted to do. He has an infectious smile. He's always smiling. He was, I always looked at him. He always looked so young to me, and he always put a smile on your face when you saw him, and he was always happy to be here.
9 years, is that how long he's been with the state?
That's correct.
I wasn't there. What was it on westbound or eastbound?
It happened I-84 eastbound.
Eastbound. And then you said that there was a suspect apprehended at 39A.
It was within that area, yeah. So the vehicle became disabled, and one of the witnesses was actually providing updates to Troop H over the 911 line regarding the developments as the scene began to unfold and troopers were responding.
We had heard that perhaps the suspect got out of his truck and was running, and that's where he was apprehended. Is that correct?
The individual did get out of the vehicle. That is correct.
And we did see there was a individual being arrested, I suppose, around that area with a red truck. Are you able to confirm that was the individual or not?
No further information on that at this point in time.
How far was the distance from seeing a crash to where the truck stopped?
So the traffic stop and where the collision occurred was in the area of 31, and the distance spanned almost to exit 39A. So that's a considerable distance going from Southington into Farmington.
Is that like 2 miles, 3 miles?
About how much time do you think?
Roughly 5 miles.
How much time between the initial call to the individual's arrest?
I can't answer that for you at this point.
Are any of you able to, there's going to be a lot of people watching this, just kindly remind the public about the move over law?
Absolutely. So we would like to take this opportunity to remind the public of the existence of the slow down, move over law. This law requires any operator approaching an emergency vehicle, and that goes for any emergency vehicle. It could be a DOT service truck, a tow truck, a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police vehicle, to slow down and move over. If you are not able to move over, at minimum, slow your speed out of consideration for the safety of those who are pulled over in the shoulder.
And you had said earlier that the reason the truck pulled over was because it couldn't drive anymore, it was disabled, not because the driver voluntarily pulled it.
That's correct.
I wonder if the Lieutenant Governor could just add any more color to your interaction with him in terms of having met him and what that conversation was like.
Just that. He was doing his job in the Wallingford area, and when the windows were rolled down, he peeked in, recognized my state trooper, saw that both of us were wearing our seatbelts, smiled and waved us on, and then others on our detail who knew him were laughing about it later, but laughing because they knew he was very dedicated, and he'd stopped the Lieutenant Governor just to make sure she was wearing the seatbelt.
And where was this?
In the Wallingford area.
Thank you. We'll be all set.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
You were just listening to an update from State Police about the death of Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier. He was struck and killed this afternoon on I-84 eastbound in Southington near exit 31. State Police say the driver who hit him took off, but is now in police custody.
Here's the new information that we learned. Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier was working overtime at the time of this accident at 2:36 this afternoon on I-84 in Southington. He was working overtime when he had pulled over a vehicle for a driver who was not wearing their seatbelt. That's when another vehicle struck him. State Police say that it was a red pickup truck. They were able to stop that vehicle, as you look at video here, a little farther up the highway near exit 38 in Farmington. They stopped that older model red pickup truck that you're looking at there.
And they mentioned in this news conference that he didn't necessarily stop willingly. The truck had broken down. And he said he exited the vehicle and was caught on foot a short time later. That was some of the new information we got. Also, we got tonight that Trooper First Class is survived by his wife and 2 young boys, Zachary and Troy.
You're looking at the picture from several years ago of a son, a husband, a father, as you said, Mike, of those 2 young children, a 9-year veteran of the force. Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier also leaves behind a K-9 partner, Rosso, who state police say was in his cruiser at the time of that tragedy this afternoon. State police are asking for anyone who may have witnessed today's incident on I-84 in Southington that led to the death of one of their own. They're asking for witnesses to please come forward, particularly anyone who may have dash cam video of this incident. They're also asking people to call 860-534-1000. That is Troop H. 860-534-1000 if they happen to have witnessed the crash today or if they happen to have any dash cam video.
And if you're just joining us and couldn't write that down, we'll have that on NBC Connecticut as we continue to follow this story now through 11. We'll remember Trooper First Class Aaron Pelletier will bring you any new information both on air and online.
Our team coverage picks back up tonight on NBC Connecticut News at 11. We hope you'll join us.